and we're at the Clearwater Record Shop Record Show, and we're live with Raven Chain from Sister Kill Cycle. So welcome back to the show, man.
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good, good. So I'm sorry about, the tracks and stuff with, Dixie and all that. So
Yeah, no problem, man. It's like I said, I think it's just a misunderstanding on their part, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it's weird. You have somebody that comes in the band and, like, you go in the studio, record music with them, and then when they decide they don't want to be in the band, they don't want you to play their music anymore. It doesn't make sense. That's not how the music industry works. Right,
yeah, I hear you. And I understand where he's coming from on a certain level, but you did work with them, and so I don't want to dwell on it. I just wanted to apologize that I caused some turmoil there.
No, not at all. No problem.
But yeah, so that's kind of why you're here as well. So because you want to premiere some brand new tracks, because you want to get this out there, and you have a new album coming out at the end of this month, right?
Oh yeah. I've been working on it for a while now, probably going on 3 or 4 months, like, intensely in the studio, and it's pretty close to where I want to release it. So
cool. And that song I just played is "Can't Feel." So
yeah,
did you write that with the new members as well, or is that something you did?
Actually, everything on this record for the first time was all me. I pretty much wrote the entire record.
Really? Cool.
Did the production and the recording, and of course, Evan's been helping me with mixing. So.
Right, cool. So everything's complete now, or you still got final touches, or?
It's about 90% there. 90% there. I mean, I got a couple more tracks that I'm debating whether to release on this record or not. Just seeing how it feels, like the whole album together. I want to make sure it's cohesive and just everything lends a hand to each other. I don't want to put out a record where there's like 2 good songs and the rest is filler. So.
Right? Yeah, those you can't do that these days. So, and there's a lot of competition. But the next song I'm going to play from you guys is called "Mrs. America." So
right.
This has never been heard before.
Nope, this is
this is like
new.
The world premiere of this.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, how's everybody going?
So, yeah, if you guys want to stop down, we're still here. If you want to Skype in and ask Raven a question, you can Skype the username Rock Metal Talk. But anyway, so tell me a little about the track "I Can't Feel." Or is it "Can't Feel" now? Did you change the name?
Yeah, it just "Can't Feel" now. Basically, it's pretty much like all of my music. It's just things that have happened to me over this past year, and reflecting on everything that has happened in my life, and how it's affected me, how it makes me feel. And it's to me, music is my sonic therapy. I can't afford a therapist, so that's pretty much it. I just throw all my feelings and life events out there for the public, for everybody to see. And it's kind of hard sometimes, because you really do put yourself out there as a real person, and it's the vulnerability of that is.
I agree.
It's kind of weird at times, but I mean, it is what it is. I've always been real, and
people are going to interpret it for their own thing. They're not always going to get your meaning of
it. Right, and that's fine. I mean, I also write for other people to interpret it their way. I mean, because when you hear a song, you kind of own it. When you relate to it, it becomes your song.
Right, and it makes a great album too. It definitely makes it more interesting, and that's a time in your life when 10 years from now you're going to personally reflect on it. So
right, yeah.
I know when I listen to one of my albums now. Back then I was like, it was all right. Now I listen to it and I'm like, that's where I was in my life, and it was a pretty good time. So I enjoy it. So, but how many tracks do you want to put on the CD? Is there a final number, or?
I'd probably somewhere between 8 and 10. I mean,
8 and 10.
I mean, 8 would be a little short of an album, and 10 would be right there where it should be. But like I said, it just depends if these final songs I'm working with make the cut or not.
Right, I hear you. Do you have the artwork? Is that something you're working on, or you're outsourced? You're doing everything, basically?
I'm doing everything. I'm doing the artwork, doing the layout and all that. we're actually getting ready to start working on the music video for the single track Public Enemy.
That's going to be the first. Yeah, that's going to be your first single that you want to go with.
That's going to be the first single in the video for that. I'm probably going to do a couple videos for this album. I know it's been a while since we did a music video. I think the last one we did was Black Widow. So I think to make up for the lack thereof, we're going to do extra on this record.
Time, so. But you know, you were working and playing songs and going out and doing live shows, and then you had member changes.
So. Revolving band members,
Yeah, so it's tough when that happens, but you know, you're basically the foundation of it. So.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I didn't really grasp that concept. I always wanted to like be a guy, a member in a band, you know, like Motley Crue, and I never wanted to be like a solo artist like Alice Cooper or Manson or someone like that just stands on their own and it's all about them. But the more that you do this business, the more that you realize how fickle it is. I've started to understand that in order to keep something concrete, you almost kind of have to do that. I mean, I'm the only one that's constantly here, so.
Right. Yeah, it's trended that way, but it seems like you got a good group of guys, and the live show sounds better than ever. I mean, I caught you at the Sandbar. Tell me about some of the shows that are coming up.
We have we have a show tonight at Venom in Newport Richie. Playing with our buddies in Together in Exile, and we'll probably go on around 11:30ish. Then we have a show coming up in Port Charlotte. All the details will, of course, be on the website and stuff. I don't know the dates right off my head.
I hear you. It's hard to keep track of all that shit.
Yeah, we have a couple more live shows coming up throughout the end of the year here, and then we're just going to gear up and get ready for this release, the music video, and then, of course, we'll probably start touring in spring.
Cool. So, how did you just played with Motigrated, correct?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was a good show. There was a great turnout. We got asked to do the show, and the only slot they had was an opening slot, which is, you know, early. No one wants to play opening slot. But the guys from Motigrated are actually good friends of mine. You know, we played with them back in the day when Ivan from Five Finger was still in the band. So they were very gracious and cool to us back then. So it just gave me a high respect for that band. So when offered to do the opening slot, you know, I was like, of course, just, you know, to be at the show, on the show with them.
How was the turnout overall?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was surprising that it wasn't more packed than it was, but they did pretty well. And even, you know, us going on first opening, I think we went on right around 8 o'clock. There was probably 40, 50 people there at 8 o'clock. So
yeah, if 10 people never heard of you before, it's still a good
right,
thing.
And that is one good thing. You know, we did play to quite a few people who had never heard of us before. So, you know, we made some new friends.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and like, you know, I've always had that mentality, you know, I play the same for 5 people that I do 5,000. So.
Yeah, you guys put on a good show. He throws all his energy into it, so I've seen it firsthand. So I've seen what goes on backstage as well. One of these days I'm going to come to a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Party with you guys. But I'll try to make it out tonight and see what happens. There's a bunch of shit going on. Now, with Motigrated, you know, I think a lot of people have that mentality now with them that it might not be Motigrated because there's only one guy that kind of goes back to 2002. You know what I'm saying? So people don't feel it's really Motigrated. I mean,
their new singer Anthony. I mean, I have to tell you, he's great.
I
was really impressed with him, and live. He carries just as well as he sounds in the CDs, the music. I was highly impressed. I mean, that he's such a great fit for the band now, and he's got energy, he's got charisma.
I never seen those guys live, so I probably should have went, but I think the guy Noah's mad at me because I respond, because of the PR thing. I get a lot of emails, man, and this guy, man, is relentless with emails, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you're annoying as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was bent out of shape. He wrote me back, but I never answered him, and then like 10 hours later, he wrote me again. He's like, why am I annoying after he just cursed me out for telling him he was, but. I was annoyed every time I go to my inbox. It's 100 emails from him, and I gotta sort through the. But that's what it's about. So I was just in a foul mood that day. But are they still doing the whole makeup thing?
Yeah, they're doing the whole body makeup. I kind of look like a tribal industrial kind of image, but
yeah, I watched a little documentary on them. I guess they filmed because they wanted to give the history because there's been so many changes in the band, and I watched how they came up with that whole thing. It started with one guy, and then they bought too much paint and shit, so they all started doing it.
Yeah, but
what type of theme are you going with the artwork on the new CD?
Well, as I said, this record, these songs are pretty a reflection of how things have been for me for the last year, actually last couple of years. Just